Okay, I'm going to do an update for anybody who's trying to create, uh, I guess, perimeter fence, electric perimeter fence. Now, this is my little orchard here, and I had my chickens here. The chickens are almost 7 weeks old, if not seven. They're not chicks anymore. They're chickens. They're 7 weeks old. They're, I don't know, halfway. They look like chickens, but anyways. Problem is that when I put them in here, this is where I plan to keep them permanently, but I can't fertilize my trees without them eating the fertilizer, which could hurt their health. So, and I did try to put some cages around my trees, and they were to the point that they're jumping over the cages and into around the roots of my trees. And they were, yeah, obviously, their natural instincts, they scratching. So I think, well, that's not going to work the way I wanted to. So, and I do have an electric fence around that. So now this was to keep the animals that pick my fruits in the middle of the night. We got bears, raccoons, we got everything out here. But anyways, and also the electric fence was keeping my chickens safe at night. So if you can listen to that, the clicking, my fence is operational. So what I wound up doing is, okay, I got to do something different to keep my chickens safe, but at the same time, I want to keep my orchard growing with fertilizer. I decided, okay, I got the room. I had to create another coop. So, which I have two connexes. This has been a job. I'm not 100% done on this, but I am pretty much. I have moved my chickens in here. I got two connexes. This is what I got, just to bring everybody up to speed here. Temporarily, let me see here. I have connected to my outlet out there. That's feeding my perimeter fence over there, and I brought that from underground, going from there to my gate, and then going across there. But then it comes from here. The source is going all the way down. My power supply is going all the way down to my electric panel. Now, I did order another little capacitor to energize this. That's where this comes from. This is just temporary right now. I'm going to put a switch out here. So what you see here, this integrated web of copper wire, is my electric fence. You can see my chicks back there running around. It's more confined. I think that they're happier on the other end because it's more open. Problem with it is now they started flying over my fence, and they couldn't get back in there. The only place that was not energized with my grid was the doorway. Everything else was. So I don't think at this point they got hit with the electric fence, but sooner or later they would have, trying to get back in there. So you can see all those little yellow, indicators. That's just to indicate that there's a fence right there. I haven't done that here. So we moved these, my chicks in here yesterday. I was having problems with my capacitor that's in there. Now, not quite done with this yet, but I had to create. I was having issues with my capacitor. Finally got it running. Had to troubleshoot it, but this is I'll talk about that later as far as troubleshooting capacitor. It's brand new, so I did invest $300 in this, and it's just a small run between here and here, and the back part of here. This is what I want to talk about. So I integrated this web. You can see little jumpers going back and forth all through here, all the way to almost to the ground level. Because we got raccoons and armadillos that probably want to try to eventually dig under there to get them in the middle of the night. So they have to get through that to begin with, and they're going to get hit. Now, I've never been hit with this capacitor unit, and I don't want to even test it. So, but it is going. Let me show you how it starts. It starts right back here, and I had to put a bird cage. You can see right there. That's a little bird cage. Realized that overnight I couldn't connect this, but I put them in here regardless overnight. And when I realized that they jumped onto the battery cover there, that's where the little capacitor is. and all that was exposed wire going through all the way up there. Well, in the morning I woke up and they had poop on there, so that told me they jumped up all the way through there. So had that been lit up, they would have been hit by the wire because it's connected right through there, that little cage. All that was exposed. So that was good. I guess that I seen that and recognized that, okay, I gotta do something about it. So it goes from the capacitor right there all the way up the top of the connex. Let me see here, how my fingers in the way there. And you can see that it goes through the conduit. I put some conduit just to help isolate it from the connexes all the way down to the back side of that. And I was coming back to the back side of that, around here. I'll show you. Now, I did connect both my conduits with my ground. Obviously, if you're an electrician, you know you want to ground everything. You don't want nothing to be energized by accident. So here it comes. It comes from up there, coming through, down, all the way down through, all the way to the bottom part of this. There's not much room down here to tilt at ground level. Yeah, maybe got about 4 inches there. I could probably drop it down. The rest is kind of like 3 or 4 inches also. This is simply because whatever we're going to want to try to dig is going to have to dig, but it's probably most likely going to get hit by that bottom circuit. Now you can see how I integrated all this. Now even though these let me get out of the sun here. All this hot right now. That looks like rubber. You're right, it is rubber, but it's integrated with metal. So it is energized at the potential, that same potential. So don't think that, well, where do you put rubber there? No, it is made for that. So I integrated this like a spider web. So they had to, I didn't have to go all the way to the top. Most likely they're gonna be coming through here, and this is bare alley right through here. Right here, right through there, the bears come through here often, literally come through the backyard. So, and then I added all these extra brick layers here to discourage any digging by any animals. So my theory is they're gonna get hit by the electric fence before they even get to, I want to say 3 feet, 4 feet of underground digging. Because you got to figure that's probably about maybe, I don't know, 15 inches across there. Let me see, across there. And not to mention on the other side, I also got another layer of brick around it. So it's gonna be a lot of digging. You got to figure maybe 4 feet of underground digging, and that's trying to avoid hit this bottom circuit. So obviously the animals are not gonna be that sharp. Once they get hit, they're gonna get hit. So I integrated the spider webs back here. That should deter any bears from crashing through the back part of this. Not to mention, I bought this netting to help cover up what's on the other side. So if they get curious enough, they're going to have to go through the front side to see what's back there. They probably smell the chickens, but they can't see. They can't see through this. So, so moving forward, I came through here with this bottom circuit going up, fiberglass cross arm, going across there and going across this blue connex. Then I integrated these right here, the copper, all the way back and forth to help secure the back area of my connexes and the chicken coop. So anyways, that's gonna be, I want to say that's the first and last line of defense for my chickens. I mean, I got the chicken coop as far as the mesh. The bears here can go through that. I've seen bears crash through fences like it wasn't even there, literally. So my grid is going to be the best defense that I got. Now, granted that, you know, I've seen snakes back here, but the snake's going to have the same issue. If they're able to get in, there's going to be underneath the connexes where I'm still working on sealing the gaps. Raccoons, I've seen raccoons climb brick mortar walls, but they can't climb, at least to my knowledge, they can't climb anything smooth like this. nor snakes. They got to be something where their skin can grasp onto something more rigid. So, but they got to deal with that fence first. That's the issue they're gonna have. So, from back here, I'm not have to worry about it. So now that I got my grid running, up and running here, feel better secure. Thing is, I don't have to. The long run is this is just temporary. This extension cord. It runs all the way to that grid right there where I have an outlet. That's where the power supply is. Eventually, I plan to come to here. And that box right there, that's where my power supply is coming from my house. I'm going to tap into that and then run it underground underneath on the connects here. And put a separate switch right here. That way I can control it separately. But until then, this is temporarily, but at this point, I feel better. My chicks are safe, and they can't get out because I put a net on the top side also. This is to keep the hawks from flying in. So it's all zip tied together on the top side, stapled there on the 2x4s, brought down, and then halfway down here where the metal mesh is, they're zip tied there. So there's no gap, at least, that they can fly in or out. The chicks themselves, or nothing can get in there without having to deal with that. But first things first is the animals got to deal with my grid, which is, I'm going to say, it's going 4 feet high. On the back side, it's almost 5 feet high. So, anyways, just a word of the wise: make sure you ground everything that you don't want accidentally at a different potential, because then you could get shocked yourself. So, I hope this helps. If you got questions, ask. And I'll do the best I can to help you. Good luck.